Welcome to June and Journey. Today, we're diving into something fascinating, your brain. But before we begin, here's a question for you. What color is this dress? Gold and white or blue and black? The catch? The dress hasn't changed. Your brain might be the one playing tricks. So, stick around, because today we're uncovering why your brain lies to you. From optical illusions to false memories, let's explore the weird science of your mind. What color is the dress? Gold and white or blue and black? Take a moment to look. Your brain is playing tricks on you. This dress became an internet sensation because people saw it in different colors. But here's the twist. The dress hasn't changed at all. It's your brain that's manipulating how you see it. Let me explain. When you look at the dress, your brain is processing the lighting conditions around it. If your brain assumes it's in a shadow, it will brighten the colors, making the dress appear gold and white. On the other hand, if your brain thinks the lighting is bright, it will darken the colors, making the dress look blue and black. So, the color you see isn't just about the dress. It's all about how your brain interprets the light around it. And here's a fun fact. The dress is actually blue and black in real life. But your brain changes the way you perceive it based on its own interpretation of the lighting. So, while the dress stays the same, your brain is pulling off some optical tricks to make you see it differently. And that's just the beginning of how your brain can mess with your perceptions. Did you know your brain processes up to 11 million bits of information every second? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the twist. You're only consciously aware of about 50 of those bits at any given time. So, how does your brain filter through all that noise and make sense of the world? Let's break it down. Your brain is a powerhouse, constantly analyzing a massive amount of data. But it can't focus on everything all at once. To deal with this, it uses shortcuts called heuristics to make quick decisions. These shortcuts help you respond to things fast, like when you need to dodge a speeding car or react to danger. But sometimes, these shortcuts make mistakes and lead you to misinterpret things. Take this for example. Imagine you're walking through the woods and you spot something moving in your peripheral vision. Instantly, your brain may decide it's a snake, even though it's just a stick. Your brain, using a shortcut, is trying to protect you by assuming the worst. It fills in the gaps with what it thinks is dangerous. In reality, there was no threat, just a harmless stick, but your brain didn't know that for sure and jumped to a conclusion. So, while these brain shortcuts help you survive, they can also trick you into seeing danger when there is none. That's the fine line your brain walks every second, helping you make fast decisions, but sometimes making you believe things that aren't true. Ever seen an optical illusion that left you scratching your head? What if I told you your brain is literally tricking you into seeing things that don't even exist? Let's take a deeper look into why your mind often sees what it wants to see, not what's really there. Optical illusions are fun examples of how the brain can be misled. Take the Muller-Lyer illusion, for instance. Two lines of the same length, but one looks longer due to the direction of the arrowheads. Why is it like that? Your brain interprets depth, making one line appear farther away, and therefore longer. These types of illusions likely evolved to help our ancestors quickly judge distances for survival, like determining how far away a predator was. These tricks were useful then, but can be hilariously misleading today. You remember a moment perfectly, but what if I told you your memory isn't as reliable as you think? Your brain doesn't record like a camera, it creates a story. Let's take a deeper look into why your memories might be more like a game of telephone. Memory isn't like a video camera that records events perfectly. Instead, your brain pulls bits and pieces from different places and fills in the gaps. Every time you recall something, your brain might add or remove details, subtly altering what you remember. For example, if you tell a story about a past event, you might unknowingly exaggerate it. Maybe that funny moment wasn't as hilarious as you remember, or you might forget a small detail over time. Eventually, you end up believing this altered version of the memory, and it feels like the truth, even though it's been shaped by your brain's tricks. Have you ever sworn something was true, only to find out it wasn't? Ever thought it was the Berenstain Bears instead of Berenstain Bears? Welcome to the Mandela effect. Let's uncover why our brains love making up false memories. The Mandela effect happens when a large group of people remember something incorrectly, but they're so certain they're right. A popular example of this is the Berenstain Bears. Many people remember it as Berenstein, but the correct name is actually Berenstain. Why does this happen? Your brain loves patterns and familiarity. When something doesn't quite match what your brain expects, it automatically corrects it, even if it's wrong. Social reinforcement plays a role as well. When a group of people share the same mistaken belief, it can strengthen and solidify your memory of it, making it feel real. Did you know eyewitness testimony is one of the most unreliable forms of evidence? It's actually responsible for wrongful convictions. Let's break down why your brain gets it wrong under pressure and how this has changed the justice system forever. Eyewitness testimony is often seen as crucial in court cases, but studies have shown that memory isn't as reliable as we think. Stress, fear, and leading questions can distort what someone actually saw, causing their brain to fill in gaps with incorrect details. In fact, according to the Innocence Project, faulty eyewitness testimonies have contributed to about 70% of wrongful convictions later overturned by DNA evidence. This shows how your brain can be tricked into remembering things that didn't actually happen, making eyewitness accounts far from foolproof. Have you ever been so sure of something, only to find your memory of it isn't as accurate as you thought? Strong emotions can shape your memories, but those vivid memories might not always be as reliable as they seem. When emotions come into play, our memories can feel more intense, but just because you remember something clearly doesn't mean it's correct. These vivid memories, known as flashbulb memories, are prone to error just like any other. Maybe you clearly remember where you were when you heard about a major event, but over time, certain details might change or fade, even though you're sure you've got it right. Why does your brain sometimes trick you into seeing or remembering things that aren't true? Is it protecting you, or is it just trying to make sense of things in its own way? Your brain isn't lying to you on purpose. It's simply doing its best to help you survive and understand the world. Sometimes, it fills in gaps or makes assumptions to create a clearer story. But occasionally, those stories are based on incorrect details. For instance, imagine you're walking in the dark and hear a noise. Your brain might jump to the conclusion that it's a dangerous animal, but in reality, it could be a harmless rustling in the leaves. So, ever had one of those wait, what? Moments when you were 100% sure about something, only to find out you were totally wrong? It happens to all of us. Our brains are constantly making quick judgments, but sometimes they get it wrong without us even realizing it. That's why it's important to stay curious, keep questioning everything, and embrace the wonder of discovering new things. After all, the more we question, the more we learn, and the more we understand how our minds work. Thanks for joining me on this brain-bending adventure. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time.